How to retire with $139,600. You heard it right. I'm going to show you how you can comfortably retire with $139,600 right here at the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Just don't forget to subscribe right there. Hit the little bell. It should be down that side, I think, to hit subscribe. Then when you do, hit the bell to be notified. There's a little bell up there to be notified for future content so you can be kept in the loop of all the stuff we do here today. This one's going to be fun. Can't wait to show you. So let's dive right into it, my friends. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take two fictional characters, Joe and Jane. All right. We always talk Joe and Jane. They just love volunteering for the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel because they're on here all the time. So Joe and Jane, we're going to say Joe has averaged $50,000 a year of income over his life. Okay. So that's what we're going to say for Joe. He's averaged $50,000 a year in income. Now, Jane's different. Jane, when she graduated college, she worked for 5 years. Was that? Yep, 5 years making $50,000 a year. All right. And then she stayed home to raise the kids for the next 10 odd something years. We see zeros here across the board. So from 1989 till 2002, what's that? 13, 14 years, something like that. She didn't make any money. She stayed home raising the children. So she made, right out of college, she made a good, decent money. Now, again, these are all adjusted for inflation, just using Social Security stuff. So don't worry about, it's $50,000 in 1984. That's a lot of money. No, we're indexing it for the Social Security number. So, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. So 50, 50, 50, the first 5 years. Then she met Joe, got pregs, and she stayed home for the next 13. Then she went back to work when the youngest was going to high school, and she was making $40,000 a year for the next, 2003 to 2017. That's roughly 14 years. So Jane essentially has 20 odd years of income, and when you total all these numbers, the 50,000 for 5 years and the 40,000 for whatever that many is, she has a total average. Her total indexed earnings is $850,000. All right. So let me just go show you what I'm talking about. Social Security, and this is what they show you, that your average or your nominal earnings, and then your indexing factor. So going back to Jane, if she made $15,372 in 1984, that Social Security makes that the equivalent of $46,000 today. So essentially, that's what that is. So $40,000 today would be $12,000 back in 1984, $13,000. So that's how it works. So $15,000 in 1984 is the equivalent of $46,000 today. So what again happens is Social Security, they tally up your top 35 years, they add them together, or they index them after this. So they take your top 35 years of nominal earnings, they index them, they add them together to get you an amount right here. Then they divide that by 420. So in this case, in this sample they use, we have someone at 1705,059 in total indexed earnings divided by 420, and we get 4059 is the average index monthly earnings. Okay, so let's go back to Jane. So in this case, she right here, and when she graduated college, she only had 5 years of work, and then she quit. She stayed home to raise the kids, and then she went back to work, working whatever, Belk, I should say, selling clothes at the corner or something like that. Over the counter, I should say. And she did that till she was 66 years old. So she has $850,000 of indexed earnings. So what we do is we take our trusty calculator, 850,000, divide that by 12. That means she has, 850 by 12, divide that by 420. That means she has an average index monthly earnings, AIME is $2,023. So bear with me. There's a method to my madness here. 2023. That's her AIME. All right. So we're going to write that down. 2023. And that essentially means if you times this number by 12, that means she made about $24,285 a year on average for her average index. Yearly earnings was $24,200. And remember, the index, that means it's already been adjusted for inflation. So her AIME is that divided by 12, which is $2,223. All right. So you with me so far? That's what Jane's AIME is. Now, Joe, on the other hand, is going to be easy. We're just going to say Joe averaged, so we got to put 24,000 roughly in here. Joe averaged 50,000 a year. So his will be easy. We'll say his average yearly index earnings are 50,000. We times that by 35, and we get Joe had 1.75. Let me go times 35, boink, and we go here, boink, this, that. And so Joe, oops, what did I do? Hold on just a second. Oops, we go equals this times 35. So I guess we don't even need to put that in there. All right, so Joe actually had 1.75 million of averaged total indexed earnings. 1.75 million. It's just 175,000. And so what we do for him is we take his and we do 1.75 million, divide that by 420. And so now Joe has a AIME of 4166. All right, so let's do this again. So now we need 24. Take this equals this times 35. And that means that's Jane's. And then we divide that by equals this, divide by 420. All right, so there we go. So there's Jane's AIME and there's Joe's. Now, what does all this mean? Well, let me show you. So now when we have our AIME, we have to figure out what their PIA is. And the PIA is their primary insurance amount, okay? So we're going back over here, and we're saying Jane's AIME was 2023, and we already have that calculated in there, 24285, 4285 is what it was. That means her AIME, when you run the bend points, is $1,166. That's the amount she'll get from Social Security at her full retirement age of 66, $1,166. So let's go over here, $1,166. Now we got to figure out what Joe's PIA is, and we simply do the same thing here. We say 50,000, and his PIA will be right here, 1,852, because we use the bend points. And I'm not really getting, well, I guess I will. So the first 0 to 895 is times by 0.9%. That means for every $895 of earnings that you have for your Social Security benefits, you actually receive $805 from that. And anything above that, up to $5,397, you'll receive 32% of that. So you combine the two, and Joe will get $1,852 for his PIA, $1,852. So you go over here and we type in $1,852. All right. 1852. So between them, they're going to get at 66. They'll have between them $3,018 of total Social Security benefits. Okay, between them, total benefits. Right there, 3,018, and we times that by 12 equals boink times 12, that's going to be 36,216 a year is what they're going to get from Social Security. Now, how much do they need a year to live on? We're going to say $48,000 a year initially. Now, how do I get that? So I just started doing some simple math. I said, let's see here. Medicare, utilities, food, property tax. We're going to have auto and home insurance. We're going to have vacation, and we're going to have other. All right, so I'm just saying this. Now, we have no debt. Again, my number one constituency, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. My number one recommendation is not to have a mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage or any other debt, then we're going to be much, much better to be able to do this on $139,000. So I'm saying Medicare, the Part D, Part C, if they have that, they got, or if they have Medigap supplements, whatever, but they certainly got Part B. So Part B, Part C, Part D, or if they have Part B and Part D and Medigap, it's going to roughly about $500 between them. So that's $6,000 a year is what we're going to say. We're going to say utilities run about $8,000 a year. Food is $10,000 a year. Property tax is $2,000. Let's just say they live in Tennessee. Property tax is pretty low, and you get pretty good homestead exemptions. Or if you live in Georgia, something like that, you get property tax at $2,000 a year. Auto and home insurance is $2,000 a year because all the kids are off their property and they don't have a huge house because they downsize. Ideally, that's what they did. They downsized their 4-bed, 3-bath house on an acre. They sold it. They paid cash money for a $200,000 house up in Gainesville, Georgia, or something like that. They take vacation a couple times a year, once a year, $5,000. And then for other, I'm just saying $15,000. All right. So we're going to add all these guys up and we're going to go Krakow. And what does that give us there for total needs expending? And that gives us $48,000. Wow, it's crazy how ironic or coincidental that is. No, because I kind of figured this out. So $40,000 is $4,000 a month. And again, Medicare, that's not going away. Some point, this is property tax, home insurance not ever going away, and other consists of everything. I mean, my goodness, it consists of you can name it. If they want to tithe, if they want to buy gasoline for the car, they want to buy new clothes, whatever. At the end of the day, other is very all-encompassing of all the things. Utilities includes your electric bill, includes your gas. If you have natural gas, which you should, natural gas is awesome. Includes your cable. If you're running cable, say $250 a month, your cell phone $250 a month, your electric bills $150 a month, whatever. That includes all-encompassing your cable, your gas, your phone. The people come out there and collect your trash and all that, your water. All right, so $48,000. Does that seem crazy? Again, if you don't have a debt, no, it doesn't. And then again, property tax on a $200,000 house here in Georgia and Tennessee is $2,000 is not outlandish. Auto and home insurance is just not a likely issue for a home, burning down necessarily. It's just not all that expensive as you get older. The big ones right here is the other. That is really all inclusive. So that's $4,000 a month, of which $3,000 a month comes from Social Security, which means they need $12,000 a month. So here's what we need. We're at 66 years old. They need $48,000, and they're only getting $36,000 from Social Security. All right, with me so far? Now, what happens is they hit 71. So 5 years go by, and I'm actually saying they're spending less. I'm saying they don't go out as much. They don't vacation as much. They don't spend as much food. Maybe whatever. I'm just saying they don't spend as much. And we have studies that prove this, empirical evidence. I keep using that word empirical because it's so important to use. Not just me pulling something out of the air. We have evidence now that people spend less as they get older, my friends. That's why all these people say, I can't retire until I'm 90 years old. I'm like, stop. Yes, you can. Remember, we have a huge, all-encompassing $15,000 that could go to many different things. Maybe they have season tickets to the Gwinnett Braves. I don't know. Or there's not even Braves anymore. It's called the Gwinnett Stripers. I don't know. What I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we're saying they're going to spend less, not significantly less. 48 to 45,000 is less, but that's not significant less, but it is less. And we're also saying that they're going to spend less even as they get older. So here they're 66, they just retired, they're receiving this from Social Security. They're going to spend $4,000 a month until they hit 71, then they're going to spend less. Then they hit 76, they spend $40,000 a year. Now, the interesting thing is we have the evidence from the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, says they can actually probably going to spend 22% less when they hit 75 or 80 or so. And so their spending would go down from 48,000 to 37,000. I'm not even saying it's going to drop that much. I'm not. I'm just saying it's going to drop gradually from 48 to 45. Again, this has all been adjusted for inflation. We're not getting cost of living adjustments on Social Security. The index for inflation has already been counted, as we talked about for the Social Security thing I just showed you. That's the only thing that's looking at inflation is the past, what you made in 1984, 1985. But Social Security is staying the same. Your expenditures are staying the same. We're not changing anything. Everything stays the same. All we're saying is at the end of the day, we have a deficit here of 12,000. All right, so we need a 48. So let's just show you. Say equals this minus that. All right, so that's our deficits right there. And we can run this guy down, boink. Now watch what happens though. And we run that guy down to there. All right, so when you factor all these, so the first couple of years, they need roughly $12,000. That's their deficit that they got to make up because they need 48,000. They only got 36 come from Social Security. So they need 12,000. Then after that, they need 8,700. And then after that, they need 3,700 and so on. And so the total amount they need is 139,000. In fact, when they hit this age, they actually have a surplus. They have more Social Security coming in than they need. And the reason, again, is because I'm saying when you hit 87, you're just not likely to go out and partying all the time. Now, you might have more in healthcare. I get that. But we still have a significant vacation we can wipe off. We can reduce that. I mean, there's all kinds. Are they going to eat $10,000 a year in food? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. But I don't think this is unrealistic to say their spending will drop from 66 when they're 87 by $13,000 a year. I don't think that's unrealistic at all. And so here we have a surplus. They're actually having more money coming in than going out, simply due to the fact that they no longer are spending as much. That's just a fact. So as you can see, here is a total money they need, $139,000. Let's just round up and say 140, $139,600. Now, remember, we're going back to Jane. We are counting that Jane had basically 15 years of no earnings at all. All right, zero. Now, I mean, if Jane were to work a couple more years, she could add to this 850. So let's just say Jane worked, 2 more years. So we'll say 850. We'll go up to 9. So she added $80,000 to 850 plus $80,000. So now her thing would be $930,000, not $850, because that extra couple years of working would take one of these zeros off and add $40,000. So 930. Let's just do this down here. $930,000. Divide that by 420. Gives her 2214 as an AIME. 2214. Now times that by 12. Let's see what that does to her Social Security. That means 26571. So let's see what that does. So basically what we've done here, just remember, we added 2 years of $40,000 a year. Those $40,000 a year wiped 2 of these zeros off the mat. So they changed this 850 to 930. Now you take the 930 because we're average index total earnings. That's the top 35 years that you have, add them together. And then you get 930, divide that by 420. That gives us our average index monthly earnings of 2214. I'm just simply raising that times 12 to show you what the annual benefit would be. So 26571. We go to my trusty calculator, which I derived here. And we're going to say 26571. Add that. Now her benefit went from to 1227. Look at that. She added an extra 1227 now. 1227. Look at that. So she just added another $70 a month to her Social Security just from working those 2 extra years. So again, that just shows you that if you want to increase your benefits, you can. And actually, because she worked those 2 extra years, what would happen is she'd actually get 8% yearly increase because she's not filing at 66, she's filing at 68. So that her benefit would not be 1227, it'd be 1227 times 12%, or 16% times 1.16. It'd actually be a benefit of 1423. And why? Because she took the 2 years of delayed earnings credits. Because if she retired at 66, like she did before, and just started taking Social Security, she gets her full PIA, her full primary insurance amount. But if she retired as 1220, I can't remember what it was, 1227 or something like that. But if she retired at 68, she doesn't get just her full PIA or full primary insurance amount. She gets her primary insurance amount plus or times 8% each year that she delayed filing from her full retirement age. So in this case, I give her an extra benefit, 1423, which means it'd add another, let's see, 14. So we want to add, so bear with me just a second. We're going to take this. Hold on just a second. We're going to take this plus this. 3275. So she just added a significant amount of money to, let me just make sure we did that right. X 2. Yep. Plus Y. Yep. There you go. So now she just increased her benefit by, a significant amount by working those 2 extra years and getting the delayed earnings credits of 2 extra years, if that were to be. And so now, my goodness, now they're getting $39,000 a year from Social Security. They don't even need $139,000 because look, they're getting, what they're getting, 39, we'll say 39,300 And now we go down here. We're going to come down here. Bear with me just a second, my friends. I know it's confusing, but I'm just telling you, it's so critical to know. And now she can, all they need is 62,500. You see them? So you got to know these Social Security things, how they work. Now remember, Jane didn't make a ton of money. She made, this is essentially 12,500 in 1984, 13,000 in 1985, 13,500 in 1986, 14,000 in 1987, 14,500 in 1988, then nothing, then 40,000, which would be 30,000 back in when she came back to the workforce. We're not talking she all of a sudden was the CEO of Coca-Cola. It's just not. And Joe, on the other hand, is making $50,000 a year over his index again over his life. And again, we're not talking huge amounts of money here in terms of they're not, like I said, they're not the CEO. They're just regular folks. The issue is, though, is how much they need to live on. And if we only need $48,000 a year to live on, and they're getting $39,300 from just some easy Social Security practices, all they need, my friends, is $62,500. That's it. That's it. And we're not talking 4% rule. We're not talking anything like the markets. We're just saying if they have $62,500 in cash, and this is what they get from Social Security, they can retire. Because all they need is $8,700 in the first year, for the first 5 years. Then it drops to $5,700 because their income needs are going to drop once they hit 71 years old. Now, will this be specific to you? I don't know. But we have enough studies now, enough evidence to say at the end of the day, the likelihood of your spending increasing with retirement is just not there. It's actually more likely it's going to drop, and yet no financial planning software shows that. And that's why I want to kind of bring this out to you in a simple way to look at it. With everything inflated, everything apples to apples. We've already inflated the income you made in the past to get your benefit of Social Security, which is the only thing we need to look at. And we're saying, well, where's the income go to? We're using Medicare, we're using utilities, we're using food, we're using vacation. That all equals up to $4,000 a year. The only thing in here is that you don't have a mortgage or a car payment. And even a car payment could fall on the other. That's for sure. But is that reasonable? I'd like to hear from you. Tell me if you think that's reasonable. I mean, I'd love to hear otherwise. You might say, I don't know, Josh, dropping 45 to 45 after 5 years of retirement, that might not be the case. Okay, well, share me the reason, what you think, because I'd love to hear that for sure. So drop in the comment section if you think this is reasonable, if you think this is crazy talk, because I'm telling you, I'd love to hear your comments because I absolutely believe this is reasonable. I think it's doable. Just shows you don't need more than between 140,000 in this case, 62,000 retire. You just don't. It's just this is the critical thing. How much do you need and where's it going to? All right, my friends. So if you like what you see here at the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel, just subscribe below, then hit the bell to be notified. I'd love to hear your comments on this. It'll be helpful to me immensely. I deal with a lot of people just worried sick about it. And I said, stop. Let's see how we can make this work. So let me know what you think below. And then don't forget to go to heritagewealthplanning.com. It's a blog for sure, heritagewealthplanning.com. Keep my podcast, my YouTube channel, all that stuff is thrown in there as well as my compository. I don't know that's a resource. I put everything in there. So see you next time at the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.